Hey, Matt here, and welcome to Mob Street. Now today, I'm out here with my friend Joe, and Joe, what do we got?
We got a 2006 TW200.
So this is Joe's TW, and now Joe had an ATV tire on here already, but he was looking for something maybe just a little bit different, and so we went and installed the TW200 Fat Tire Kit from Bradley Performance Products. This actually takes it from the motorcycle hub and wheel to an ATV hub and wheel. And I'm going to let Joe explain why he wanted to go away from the motorcycle wheel to the ATV wheel.
So I've been running it for a while, and I was running at a really low pressure, like almost 3 pounds of pressure, so I can get more suspension out of it. But the problem that I was having is I was getting flat because of the inner tube rubbing on the sidewall of the tire from the low pressure friction.
So you're getting basically heat friction.
Yeah, heat friction.
Popping those.
So I've had to change, I've had to change it several times, and I've noticed every time I go to change it that I am starting to damage the rim with my spoons.
Right.
And I can see that if we keep doing this, I'm going to ruin my rim. So
Gotcha.
that's why I wanted to go to the steel hub and go tubeless.
So with that though too, one thing that a lot of folks don't realize is, yeah, you can put the ATV tire on the motorcycle wheel, but the crazy thing is getting those tires to seat. It's a completely different bead setup, and it is really hard to get those tires to seat on the motorcycle wheel. So going to an ATV wheel, putting an ATV tire on an ATV wheel with the bead and everything, it just makes a lot more sense. It's a lot easier to change, and it's a lot easier to deal with when you're out on the trail, because one of the other things that you mentioned was with the ATV wheel and the ATV tire, you can run that lower pressure, not worry about the hub going on there, or not worrying about the low pressure in the tire. But when you're out on the trail, if you do pop one, all you need is just an ATV plug it, and you're good to go. So, and these ones, obviously an ATV tire, ATV wheel are made to run at lower pressures anyways. So, the little bit that I rode this, just out on the track, just over here on the side of the house, it's a lot more like cushy. Like, it's just got a lot more float and just comfort to it than running those higher pressures. So what's the main purpose though? Why on earth did you want to go with an ATV tire anyways? Like, what's the main purpose you use your TW for?
I do a lot of mountain riding, so I'm in a lot of mud, better traction. Right. At first I thought, well, it looks cool.
Okay.
I wanted to try it. Once I got it on there, I really liked the traction on it.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, it is a bugger to mount up. When I put that on, I put 94 pounds of pressure in that tire to get it to seat.
To seat the bead?
To seat the bead.
That is not recommended, by the way. So.
Yeah, I stood back. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a hose and stood back, but I think it was 94 pounds of pressure before I found it on.
So let's talk then. You got the tire on there. What about the handling characteristics? Does it change the handling of the bike? Like, was it weird to get used to?
I don't really know, because I put the tire on like 2 weeks after I bought the bike.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I never really did ride it much.
So you're totally used to this stuff?
Yeah, I was totally used to this. I didn't ride my other bike with that tire much.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, so I've ridden mine quite a bit on the road and off-road, but I noticed just going up the road a little bit, like, it is, for me, it's a completely different traction feel.
Right.
And going around a corner and everything, I guess I'm just not comfortable enough yet to do like a major lean into a turn. But speed-wise, what were you going with the speed on this before?
On this tire?
Yeah.
Well, so before I had the dual sprocket on it.
Right.
And I was going 60. I was hitting 60 with this tire.
So, and just handling
just fine. Yep, right
really?
down the highway. Yeah, just fine.
Huh.
I've yet to ride this with this one, so
right.
we'll see.
Okay.
Maybe we can give you an update.
We'll definitely update,
when
we look at it.
But with this tire, I was going 60, 65. So, and then as soon as I got back home, was heading up the mountain, then I just switched my sprocket over to that smaller sprocket and have lower gear.
You got the lower gear. So what Joe's talking about here is he did have a dual sprocket setup on the old wheel. Now, as we were putting this hub kit together, it was a little bit of a learning experience on how, like on which side of the offset the hub was supposed to go, which side the brakes were supposed to go. But once we got that figured out and actually found that the two sprocket setup was rubbing the inside of the swing arm, we had to take that outer sprocket off, went to the 52 tooth sprocket, and now, I mean, it's actually a pretty slick setup. There wasn't a ton of mods that we had to do to this. It does ask you to shave the inside chain guard off of the swing arm so that it has enough clearance for the front of the tire to fit through.
And I already had that off.
Yeah.
I was running that dual sprocket.
And that bigger tire anyway.
The bigger tire, right.
So, I mean, as far as, now that we know how to go about it, as far as like ease of installation goes,
20 minutes.
It really is not that bad.
Minutes.
You know?
Slick, yeah.
But like I said, we swapped everything back and forth a couple times just to figure it out the way that we tried to get that dual sprocket system to work, and it just wasn't going together with this new hub setup. So, anything else you want to add?
Nope, other than that, I'm excited to try it out, see how it rides and how it runs. So
I'm actually really impressed with the kit.
Yeah.
Like, it came with everything that we needed. We got the bearings all pressed, which the new ones you don't have to do. I will put the link in the description down below, and make sure to ask questions. Like, if you're looking for an ATV hub and wheel kit, ask questions. I'm gonna have, well, you know, say, hey Joe, we got the video out. Why don't you go and help me answer some of these questions? Because he knows a lot more about riding with the ATV tire than I do. But yeah, if there's questions, comments, put those down below. And the link to this will be there as well. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and follow along. I want to say thanks to Joe for letting us
thank you.
use his bike to test this with. And yeah, you good there?
We'll try it out.
There we go. Sweet. I'm Matt. This is Joe. This is his 2006 TW200. This is Mob Street, and thanks for watching.